Hey everyone, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thanks so much for tuning in. Today it's a glowy video. I'm going to be talking about reviewing, demonstrating the new Huda Beauty Not Your Mama's Pantyhose, or N.Y.M.P.H is what they're calling it for short, which is basically a body and facial illuminator. And it's actually not the only one of this kind of product to launch recently. I feel like the beauty industry has found a niche in body bronzers and is like going hard at it for summer, because we had this, we had the Patrick Ta suite of body glow products, Fenty's Body Lava, Wet n Wild has some new stuff, and I initially was going to pick up the Patrick Ta during the VIB sale. I talked about it in the video that I made, but shortly after that, Huda announced the release of these, and what made me go with these over any other out there, because I haven't tried either Patrick Ta or Fenty's Body Lava, is because she said this is waterproof, transfer proof. It's supposed to create this pantyhose-esque barrier across the body, right? Illusion that you have this satiny, nylon-covered skin, I guess. That sounds less attractive than I think it is, but it's supposed to do all that and not transfer, which I have had issues with in the past. I mean, it's not a totally new category for beauty. I'm going to talk about some products that have been out there for a while that I've actually used and honestly haven't stuck with because they lack the steadfastness of something that I have all over my body and don't want to risk transferring it onto my clothes, onto upholstery, onto other people, you know? So this is what made me go with this. So I'm going to be talking about it all today. So buckle in and let's go. So Not Your Mama's Pantyhose, or N.Y.M.P.H, retails for 49 bucks. And at first I was pretty impressed with the size of the packaging. Like, it seems very substantial, looks like you get a lot, until you flip it on the end and you can see that it's one of those where the plastic exterior makes the interior tube look a lot bigger than it actually is. You do get more than an ounce, but not, I mean, less than 2 ounces. It's like 1.87 fluid, 1.85 fluid ounces in here. So more than your average foundation, but considering this is something that you're going to be applying all over your body and it retails for 49 bucks, I would have hoped to get a little bit more, but I will say a little bit goes a long way with this stuff. There are 3 shades available in this whole collection, kind of a light, medium, deep sort of situation. And I actually picked up 2, depending on how the shade range runs. I can be in between 2 or more so medium than light, and seeing how this swatched on some people, I was just a little unsure. So I got the shade Luna, which is the lightest shade, and this is described on the product page as a white gold shimmer with hints of rose gold and silver. And especially compared to the next shade up that I'll talk about shortly after this, this is definitely cooler and more pink toned, which is a little limiting because everyone with fair to light skin isn't going to have those pinky rosy undertones. And while it's not totally opaque, it really does cast a pretty strong hue across the skin. So maybe one day, I guess, seeing how this does, maybe she'll come out with more undertone variations for this, since while I do like this, I can see a pink undertone not really working for everyone in the light end of the spectrum. Then the next shade up is Aphrodite, and as you can see, this is quite a bit deeper and more bronze, warmer leaning as opposed to the pink. This is actually described as a golden bronze shimmer for a true golden finish. And then, although I don't have it here to talk about, just for reference, the shade description of the deepest shade, which is called Aurora, is a warm copper shimmer with rich golden pearls. She also launched a brush with this collection, which I did not get because honestly, I have an abundance of kabuki style large brushes that just never get used because they're great for the body, but I don't do body like lotion type stuff in my beauty room. I do that down in the bathroom. So I have gotten better about taking these downstairs and using them for lotion. In fact, now I even use it for my face stuff. Hot tip, if you're looking for ways to use these kind of larger kabuki styles brush that are floating around in your collection, they are great for body work. They're also great for like your lotion at night. If you wear press-ons like me, I have found that they help extend the life of those even more, because sometimes, especially towards the end of when my press-ons start to lift, you know, putting my hand in like a pot of lotion, it gets under there, it loosens them a little bit, so using a brush like this and going directly in there with that just helps extend the life of them a little bit more, especially with body lotion too. But I digress. Bottom line is I didn't buy that brush and I've had no issues using the wide assortment of other body brushes I already own with these products. So back to the bronzers themselves, let's talk about the formula. So this is a water-based formula, another reason why I wanted to pick it up, because it sounded like one that was going to be very thin, feel virtually undetectable on the skin, sink in really quickly and easily, and that is totally the case. So much so, in fact, that when I apply it on the brush and I blend it in, you can tell that whatever moisture is here gets absorbed super fast, sometimes leading to clumping or or clustering of the product. Like I think you can even maybe kind of see it here on my chest, where if you just get up really close, you can see where some of those pigments have clustered together because the medium that they're in has already absorbed super quickly into my skin. It's great for longevity. Like I think that is what really makes this so long lasting on the skin. Not great though if you apply too much and you try working with it over an area that's too large. Definitely work in small areas here with less product, because a little of this goes a long way. I learned that the hard way when I used it on my face, which I never would have thought to do, except in her, I think in her announcement video and in some of her Instagram videos too. Huda actually used this on her face as well. So I did, I'm wearing it on my face today, and I also did in the last video that I posted, and honestly have never felt more radiant in my life. I did overdo it a little bit today, which I feel like you'll be able to see because you can really see it glowing through my foundation, which, in case you're curious, is the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Finish Foundation. So it does provide a good amount of coverage, and even with that, the glow is still very strong in this look today. In addition to helping this be more budge proof, I also feel like that thinner formula makes this great for using on your face. It doesn't feel thick or greasy like a lot of other body products can, mostly just because, you know, they're meant to be more hydrating for the body and your skin, not your face, but that thin texture makes it really nice to apply to your face as well. It does have a scent. It is scented like coconut, and it does linger on the skin. It smells less like coconut now and more just like something generally sweet, but the first thing that I noticed when I dispensed this was that coconut scent. It's not strong, it doesn't smell too super fakey, and honestly, unless I'm actively, you know, this close and sniffing my skin, I can't really smell it on me once it's kind of dried down. But do know that there is a fragrance in here, so to the extent you're sensitive to that, your skin is sensitive to that, you might need to avoid this, even though I haven't experienced a reaction, but I also tend not to, so take that for what you will. Okay, now let's talk about lasting power, because there's some pretty big claims behind this. It says it's supposed to be water and transfer resistant, and knowing that this is a product that is, you know, gonna reach its peak as we head into summer, I feel like that's a really big claim, especially down here in Texas where like sweating is a sport. I mean, that's kind of a tall order, and while it hasn't reached those 100+ degree days here yet, it has been pretty warm. I put it to a sweat test, and so I feel like I have a pretty good feel for how this performs, and I have to say, so far I am impressed. Specifically with the transfer proof claim, I don't know what I was thinking. In fact, I think I probably wasn't thinking, but one of the first things I wore with this was a white, like linen blend tank top. Actually, it is this tank top, but in white, and very, very minimal transfer, only on my fingertips when I was like trying to blend it in, and so I had a high concentration of the product and I might have touched a strap or something like that. That is the only time it got on it, and I coated the rest of my arms, and I'm, you know, sitting with my arms down, crossing my arms. Like, I did not take it easy on this, and this white tank top stayed white. Super duper impressed. Same with, I've worn this with shorts. I haven't noticed it come off on any of the legs of the shorts. Like I totally stand by that transfer proof claim. The waterproof thing, I mean, like I said, I have blended some of this in with my fingers, so when I had a high concentration on my hands, it definitely came off when I went to go wash my hands. And it also comes off in the shower, so I wouldn't like expect to be able to go swimming, you know, go to the beach, get in the water, go swimming with this stuff on and expect to come out with the same finish on your skin. But it did actually last surprisingly well during a workout. So if you are outside, you're getting hot and sweaty and stuff, I do think it's gonna stay in pretty good shape there. I have a black workout mat, so I could actually see where it was coming off on the mat to know it was, in fact, for sure coming off. So again, it's not totally transfer proof if you are sweating and stuff, but I was still kind of shocked to see how much was left on my skin, despite having gone through like, you know, half hour, 45-minute sweat session. All this is to say, yes, I am pretty impressed with the longevity of this stuff. If you're looking for something that is a long-lasting kind of body glow product, this is the one I would reach for, especially compared to some of the other products I'm going to talk about here later. But before I do, the one last thing I want to talk about is the shade selection. So I do feel like I'm in between these two shades. On my body today, as you could probably see in the demo, I'm wearing a mixture of these two, and I feel like that's that's about right for me. I'm not quite deep enough for Aphrodite. I feel like I'm a little too deep for Luna, and also the undertone thing, like the mixture of these two is right for me. And given how expensive these are, I don't love that I have to buy both of them to get the right mixture. So that would be, I think, the one negative thing for me about this product. And granted, like I said, it's not totally opaque, so you don't have to get it quite right, but I do feel like I could have gotten a slightly closer match. Speaking of, so I said this isn't opaque, which is something I want to just kind of go in depth a little bit more, because if you're looking to this to like totally smooth out your skin tone, it will gloss over it definitely, but I in particular, like I have, you know, thinner skin, you can see like veins through my skin, and I just wanted to point out, like, this is a healthy layer of product here. It does not cover up discoloration like this. So if you're looking for something like Sally Hansen's, they have like spray-on pantyhose, basically a similar concept to this, but not quite as shimmery, sparkly. I think that is a little bit more pigmented and will provide more coverage over more illumination like this. Which is not to say it doesn't provide a nice filter over the skin. Like I personally, on the outside of my arms, I have KP and I also pick, so I have some scarring, some discoloration, very much lighter discoloration obviously than like veins and stuff. And that I do feel like has evened out a lot by this, and the product doesn't stick to that texture that I have, which is really nice. So it's evened that texture out too, not to the touch, but obviously visibly. But I wouldn't expect it to cover larger differences in pigmentation or discoloration across your skin. Okay, now the last thing that I want to do is compare it to some other glowy products that I already owned. First, starting off with what first came to mind when I got these, and that is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. This is the liquid version of this. I have the shade Opal here, and this is actually something that I had used on my skin, on my legs, like a summer or two back, because I was like, wow, what could give me that like fake pantyhose kind of look? Tried this, and honestly, this is a good one for a subtle glow on the face, because there is not, especially compared to the Huda, there's not much shimmer in here. And some of you might think, wow, how shimmery is the Huda? Well, much more shimmery. It's much more opaque, because now that I go back and apply this Becca, it's almost like I'm wearing nothing. So the Huda is much more pigmented, more shimmery, and overall is a thinner texture, whereas the Becca is closer to something like a lotion or a foundation. Then there's the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Body Luminizers. I think they have 3 shades in this as well. The one that I have here is called Invested in Bronze. This is a shimmer that's suspended in an oily base, and you really actually, here is one that is way too gold for me, so I haven't opened it, but you can see how the shimmer separates from the medium. It settles. You really have to shake these just to give you an idea of what that medium kind of feels like. It's more of an oil, but it is more hydrating than the Huda Beauty, I would say, but it's not nearly as transfer proof, and it also takes a lot more product to layer up to get this level of shine. And then the last product that I think comes the closest to Huda Beauty is the Danessa Myricks Illuminating Veil. The shade that I bought is Attraction, which is kind of more of a rose gold sort of shade. Probably closest to Luna here, but quite a bit deeper. This illuminating veil comes closest to the Huda Beauty in terms of coverage. Like, it provides the same level of coverage as Huda Beauty and the same level of shimmer as the Huda Beauty, but it comes in more of a lotiony format, something a little closer to that Becca illuminator that I just talked about. And because of that, I think that's what makes it less transfer proof. Like, this I do notice coming off a lot more easily than any of the Huda Beauty stuff. So this I would recommend wearing under things, specifically on the face, just to prevent that transfer. Otherwise, if you apply it like on the broader parts of your arms, things that are just going to be brushing up against your clothing or other things, I think you'll notice a lot more transfer out of this as opposed to the N.Y.M.P.H pantyhose. Which, by the way, is not to say the illuminating veil isn't awesome. It is. In fact, I think they actually have more shades available in this collection as well, in case you're not finding something in the Huda Beauty that matches you. But I do think this is just better suited for the face, so you don't have to worry about brushing up, like applying it to a broader part of your body and worrying about it brushing up against your clothes, other people, the world around you. You know what I'm saying? So those are my thoughts. Bottom line, I really like these, would really recommend them if you're looking for something of this nature and want it to be transfer proof. I'm going to the beach in a few days and will definitely be packing these. Maybe I will be a little bit closer to Aphrodite when I come back, but just in case, bringing Luna as well. I also know that once I'm there, my mom and my sister will want to use them, so the more the better. But that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.